Next senior, number 9, Grady Keldro. Parents Kevin and Darcy Keldro. Our next senior, number 12, Boris Christensen. Parents Sean and Nikki Christensen and his brother Royce. Our next senior, number 15, Christopher Lowe. His mom, Nicole Dworshak, and dad, Jokanen Lowe. Siblings, Christian, Alana, and Alicia. Our next senior, number 17, Sam Rutledge. Parents Philip and Lori Rutledge, and siblings Liam and Hugh. Next senior, number 19, Cooper Rankin. Parents Jamie and Jill Rankin. Our next senior, number 20, Dominic Locotti. Parents Rico and Kelly Locotti, and siblings AJ, Alice, Gabby, Harris, Cece, and Amelia. Our next senior is number 21, Colby Lip. Parents Gil and Mitra Lip. Our next senior is number 28, George Denny, with parents Matthew and Amy Denny, and brother Sam and grandmother Elisa. Our next senior, number 30, Arjun Regapathy. Parents Krishna Kama Regapathy, Pradeepa, Krishnasnami, and Lakshmi. Our next senior, number 32, Finn Eckhart. Parents Greg Eckhart, Julia Grieve, his grandmother Catherine Grieve. Our next senior, number 36, Quentin Stanley. Parents Paul and Shannon Stanley, and siblings Zach, Paige, and Drake. Our next senior is number 40, Parker Haydet. His mom, Lisa Haydet, and his dad, Richard Haydet, and stepmom, Nikki Lesko, and his sister, Lily. Our next two seniors, number 41 and 44, Luke and Ben Galuzzo, and their parents, David and Alexa Galuzzo. Our next senior, number 51, Trace Spreen, parents Travis and Patty Spreen, and his brother, Travis. Next senior, number 54, Trent Williamson. Parents, John and Monica Williamson. Siblings, Annalisa, Quinn, Simon, and Abby. Our next senior, number 59, Chris Fricky. Parents, Kenneth and Michelle Fricky. Our next senior, number 60, Soren Gaston. Parents Brooks and Kristen Gaston, and his sister Charlotte. Number 62, our next senior, Owen Curley. Parents William and Rihanna Curley, and his sister Patrice and brother Elliot. Number 63, senior Alex Jackaman. Parents Tom and Stephanie Jackaman, and his brother Tyler. Our next senior, number 65, Carson Galbraith. Parents Tom and Tracy Galbraith. Soren Gaffney.
Then you can hear us.
Left tackle number 61.
Claudia, can you hear me?
Whitmore.
Just go ahead and talk.
Right guard number 68.
Hello.
Right.
Practice the intro.
Okay, go ahead. You're starting in 3, 2, 1.
Me? Okay. Oh, I forgot. It's been a
So
while.
this is why we gotta practice.
Yeah.
So Sam, why don't you open?
Do you want me to? Do you want me to do the intro? I just was because she's color. I wanted it. Okay. Welcome
Starting
back.
in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Crusaders to Cronin Field, where the Jesuit Crusaders will be taking on the Sunset Apollos.
Go ahead and say talk about some of these people.
Tonight is senior night, and some seniors that have been highlighted is Trey Cleland, Grant Valley, Quinton Negrosi, and so many others. We'll talk about them throughout the game and their positions and their importance to the team.
Their impact throughout this game.
You guys keep going.
Sunset's 3-5, right? The Sunset
Yeah.
Apollos are 3-5. What are they in Metro? Oh,
They are number 25, I believe,
in the
according
state?
to
Or
us.
in Metro.
But this is actually
What's their Metro record?
Here, I'll add that back.
on my phone just to mess with the sound, right?
Oh, you took a lot of screenshots. Okay. Why?
There's no sound, so no complication there. But we will have the whole bit.
All right.
Okay. And let me grab Jesuit.
If this keeps up, I don't know if I can see too well through this.
Switch over. Is that
I might put the window up.
you wanna
We'll see.
frame up?
Oh, that's lit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Should we restart intros again?
No, we're not live,
And so that's what you might.
Yeah, I know.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That I mean, like redo.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, do you? Because your color. Do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Because I'm not gonna force you to do it if you don't want to do it. I
No,
just
you're
thought
all
because
good.
your color. So I thought,
Okay. Give me
ooh,
one
that's
second.
lit. Yeah, no worries. Don't worry.
Okay.
We're fine.
Cool. And then
We're chilling. We got 15 minutes.
Okay. Welcome everyone to Cronin Field. Tonight Jesuit is playing against Sunset, and we are your announcers, Mylani Tran,
And my name is Sam Kemp.
and then on camera we have Dylan McGrain, and producing we have Claudia
Rose.
Rose. Yes.
The other person on camera is John. What's John's last name, Mr. Faulkner?
A something
Armour.
or more.
He's on the other camera. Dylan's on the main one. Not that it's important, but Dylan's on
Yeah.
the big one, and then John's on the small one. But it's really windy. The wind's gonna play a factor today.
Yeah,
Definitely
and
gonna
it's
play
pretty. Hopefully the rain stays at a drizzle. That
Or a Bates.
there you go. And then maybe also now that one we'll probably we'll fill that after we start here. And there you go.
Tonight is senior night, and I believe the last regular season Metro home game for
Last
Jesuit?
regular season game period for Jesuit.
Oh wow, okay.
Those are tough. But
Yeah, throughout the night we'll highlight some seniors and their impact on the football team.
but it's the, so very good. So now let's get out of this. Now clear all that.
Is there any that you want to like?
The
talk
big
about?
ones, the big players to talk about. It's Trey, it's Grant, it's probably Grady Keljo. Yeah, Grady Keljo.
Wyatt,
He's big. Wyatt, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Soren.
Yep. But he plays line. He probably won't do anything.
Not too hard, right? It's like,
Yeah.
and it's
I mean, great player, but like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like he's not gonna go out there and get a reception.
you know, because it's,
Arjun or no?
Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't.
because as long as people can see the score,
Is Luke Ortner? I thought Luke Ortner was a senior.
because Dylan,
He's a 10th grader.
Yeah,
My
yeah, he's a
God.
10th grader. He's in a math
He's
class.
insane. He's been like carrying Tress Rain, Trent Williams.
We could talk about him a little then.
Yeah, well, he's injured.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the reason I was saying, because I thought he was a senior, and I thought he was injured on senior night, and I was like, that's so depressing. But he's okay. There is like no. Oh. Yeah, there's like no one here.
Yeah.
Later, if the rain lets up a little bit, or if we just can't see, we'll just open up the window. It's fine. Whose is this?
I don't know.
This is a youth large.
I saw the little tiniest little kid just waddling through, like this tall, I swear.
What?
And it was all bundled up and just waddling along.
Oh,
sand.
like earlier today. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does only one side of my headset work? Oh, only one side of my headset works. This is gonna really bug me.
So for some color, right now I have Rice Off, which was yesterday. Senior night, JHS sports, like volleyball.
Yep, volleyball won against Gresham in 3 sets.
Is there anything big happening with soccer or cross country right now?
Cross country just won the district meet on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
Men's and women's both won, so they're both going to state. And then soccer starts playoff soon, I want to say, but I can't confirm that. Let me check.
And my headset 1 or 2.
Hi. You're 1. I said, yeah, really loud, or hi, really loud.
Does this turn it down? It's a little loud.
State soccer boys. Huh?
Does this turn it down?
Yeah, but that turns you down. If you want to turn me down, you got to turn that other one down. So then, no, now you can like not hear me.
Like that's good.
Ask Claudia if you can hear me. Claudia,
I can hear you.
Can you put on the?
I can hear you. It's really loud.
Could hear who?
Well, why is hers so much louder than mine then?
Well, that's just probably your. So you can always turn these down.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, mine's super
So
quiet now.
That's all the way down or loud.
Hell, oh.
So these are 1 and 2. So however you want to adjust your own headsets,
Okay.
I'm 2.
and then you can always.
Oh, what? Why are you? What are these, bro?
These are all don't play those, but those are all effects. The only thing
Okay.
I'll say is
Yes.
Remember. The viewer can see the game, so you don't need to say everything that goes on in the game.
Yes.
And one challenge we often have is get excited, but don't yell into the microphone
Yes.
because that'll like peak, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs start tomorrow.
Sam, did you hear that?
Yes, I did. Don't
Wait. How do I? Make
don't
it work?
peek. Don't
What?
yell into the microphone.
Okay.
Yes,
Very good.
that is yours.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
What?
PK sighting.
PK sighting? What group chat is this?
My friends.
Oh, I thought it was like some A. We have an A push group chat and it's awful. It died. Well, we had past tense, I should say.
Who's in it? Ours only
It's like-
comes back alive during
Your A
tests.
push?
Yeah.
It was like me, Aaron Pereira, Kellen Williams, Eli Hansen, Kelly Matson, Jaden Schwei. I'd have to check. I can't remember. It was
Yeah.
hiking not useful.
Ours is named Pumpkins and Petunias.
Oh my god, bro. He's so strange. He's just a strange man. We'll go with 1 on that clock.
Huh?
Oh.
Okay.
Across the field to the Stars and Stripes. You join the January High Duck Band.
Yay.
Normally we go right after.
National anthem?
Yeah.
Then, if that's what you want to do, yeah, 100%.
Um,
She said after national anthem, so.
You want to start after national anthem?
or should we start later?
That's up to you.
Okay.
That's gonna be a lot of filler time. So just make
Oh,
was
sure.
gonna
okay.
say.
Maybe a little later then.
Talk about like seniors, talk about like stuff. So.
Okay.
But it's just filler time. And then maybe Claudia will just have the camera on YouTube.
Okay.
She'll probably switch back and forth.
Okay.
Because John's not here. I hope he shows up. But
Come on, John. Damn, it is raining.
Let's do it a little later.
Yeah, that's why I said minute to go. That's perfect amount of time. You do the intro, you kind of, but then there's enough happening that you don't actually have to filler for too long.
Yeah.
And you won't really have to filler that much. Especially if we cut it at the quarters. You really just have to filler when the game gets slow. Like really
Between
slow.
plays.
Not even. Sometimes the distance between plays is like 25 seconds, and then you're fine. And there's enough to talk about with the game. Like, I can recap the pass play for at least a minute if I wanted to. It's just going to be like when the game slows down and it's like, oh, they ran the ball for no gain, and now they're going to wait 45 seconds to run another play, and the game's boring. That's like the only time. USA out, guys? Question mark. I showed up for USA out, but now I realize I'm just going to look weird because no one knows it's USA out.
What? Oh. Well. Keep your sweatshirt zipped up.
Well, this...
Yeah, but that's not like that crazy.
We're going to wait till minute. Minute to go. Oh, yeah. We were gonna talk after the national anthem. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, okay.
so make sure you're communicating with the producer.
Oh, okay.
That would have been awkward.
Wait, so are we started?
What?
Are we started?
When?
Are we started? Are we live?
No.
Okay.
They were smart enough not to. But we have to tell them when we're gonna start. So do you want to start with a minute?
Yeah, start up.
Okay. So Claudia, can you please start us? We'll tell you, but it's gonna be a minute to go on the countdown. Can you see the countdown or no?
Okay.
You can? Okay. So minute to go on that, then. Sound good? All right. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Let me pull up the roster.
So, where?
Just,
Can you see this? If
No.
I'm gonna click here.
no. What we normally do is we just,
Okay.
because, wait. Yeah. That'll be fine. And then we just pass it back and forth. That's what me and Jake did last time and it worked. I also have it on my phone, so. We're gonna do that. I can do that. Where are these captains? John, you're alive. Oh my god. Alright. We're good, we're good. We're good. We're good. 220.
Are those our captains?
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna go to the side.
Yeah, they change every game though.
Oh.
Everyone gets a chance to be captain.
Yeah, you'll have to see. We start this way. But
It's
you're
gotta
gonna
be
see,
interesting.
Like, kind of like
Pull up
past the end of it.
Sunsets.
Yeah.
Who's 8? Well, okay, that's Williamson. Because the other thing to talk about, if you wanted to have some filler, is talk about that a lot of these players went through the Sunset Youth program.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a big feeder. So like Wyatt just hugged a bunch of guys on the Sunset team. So this can be
Oh, so yeah, they know these guys.
Sam Rutledge is the captain.
Referee David Kirby. Center judge Michael Kirby. Head linesman Rick Steiner. Line judge Bob Barrett. Judge Philip LaRue.
Minute.
Judge agrees to go off to
All right. So it's okay. Oh, Roman's going down on kickoff. Interesting. Huh. Okay, I won't max out the mic. If that hits red, then we're live in 40 seconds. Mr. Faulkner, just so you know, we're live in 30 seconds.
As we are getting ready to play, we will start the Thunder League. That's the somebody between the Thunder.
Bruh. Alright, 15 seconds. Alright, ready? Give me a...
Welcome everyone to Cronin Field. Today Jesuit is playing against Sunset, and we are your announcers, Milani Tran and
My name is Sam Kempf. And Jesuit has deferred. They won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they'll kick off here, and Sunset will start with the ball. So it's senior night here at Cronin Field for the Crusaders and the Apollos as we're about to get underway here. And we'll be highlighting some key seniors throughout the game, and
kickoff.
it's going to be a deep one, fielded at about the 10. And he's going to return that, and a nice tackle made at about the 30 by
Do we
number
know-
4.
Number 4. That would be
Quentin McGrossi.
Yes, he is
of
one of our
Jesuit.
seniors this year.
And we'll see a little bit of this Apollo offense.
On producing, we have Claudia, and then on our 2 cameras, we have Dylan and John.
That's who's going to be bringing you this game tonight from Cronin Field, as Sunset's going to trot out their offense here and look to get this drive underway. Some motion here from Sunset, a little bit of trickery, and that is going to result in the flag on the play. So this play is going to be blown dead, and we have a penalty before this game really even truly begins.
I didn't see quite what happened. Why was that a flag?
We're going to be looking at a false start on Sunset.
Oh,
Here, that's going to push him back 5 yards. Not the way you want to start the ball game if you're Sunset.
yeah. Currently, Sunset is ranked 25 according to the OSAA, and Jesuit is 15th.
Sunset coming into this with a record of 3-5, looking to
Yes.
earn a win tonight.
And Jesuit
And their season off
is
strong.
6-2.
Jesuit with only those 2 losses, one coming to Tualatin, the other coming to Mountainside. And he's going to drop back. He's looking to pass that, and he's going to be sacked.
By
And that's going to be
9.
Grady Keljo with the sack at the 10-yard line. And that is not the way you want to start this game at all. That's going to pull us back all the way, and that's going to be a 3rd and 30 for the Apollos. 3rd and 25. So it appears. They're going to get this ball on the 15.
It's going to be difficult for them to recover from those 2.
And so it is raining here tonight at Cronin Field, as we often do see in Oregon in November. But I think that will have an impact on this game, as we just saw that screen pass go straight through number 3 on Sunset. That'll be Matthew Lohman. Went straight through his hands, and it looks like the Apollos are going to be forced to. I can't tell if they're punt. No, they're going for this. So a bold move by the Apollos.
Handoff.
And on 3rd and 25. Oh, my apologies. That was 3rd down. And now the punt team will come out here on 4th and 25. Or 4th and 20, actually, after the 5-yard pickup. So I think the weather will play a factor tonight. That'll be probably a common theme we see throughout this game. We'll see how this punt goes.
Hopefully the rain
Fields it
doesn't get
cleanly,
any worse.
and that's going to spiral down at about the 50. And he's just going to let that ball bounce. And Sunset is going to down that at about the Jesuit 38-yard line.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, right there. That's perfect. Yeah.
So now we'll see a little bit of this Jesuit offense
Yeah.
as they're going to look to pick up the first points of this game. Great stop by the defense.
Is our QB Trey Cleveland tonight?
Yes, our QB is a senior, Trey Cleveland.
Yeah, he has played a very impactful role on this team all his Jesuit years.
And that's going to be a handoff to number 1, Roman Mallard, and he's going to be caught up after a gain of about 2 on the play. So not necessarily what Jesuit was looking for on that first play, but it's positive yardage. Some other seniors on the field are, it's Grady Keljo. He's playing both sides of the ball tonight, so it appears.
Yeah, tonight is USA themed.
USA out for the student for the Jesuit student section. And Cleveland's going to drop back, and he's going to pass this into traffic, and that's going to be broken up. And you have to wonder if we'll be seeing a lot of this, of balls fall into the turf this game with the rain. I mean, it is really coming down out there. I would not want to be out in this.
Let's hope not with all the... Hopefully the rain doesn't get any worse.
They're going to replace that ball. As Jesuit's going to look to pick up the first down here on 3rd and 8. They've got twins. They've got 2 receivers on either side of the ball, or on either side, and some motion here from number 2. And they're going to throw it to him in the flat, and that's it. He's going to run with it all the way up to about into Sunset territory at about...
Just past the 50.
That's going to be at about the 48-yard line of Sunset, 47-yard line of Sunset. So Jesuit picks up a big first down there, and they're going to look to pick up on the momentum that the defense left for them by getting a stop there on that first drive of the game.
And this is Jesuit's last regular season game.
Sunset's too. And
yeah.
you got to think for Jesuit, you're thinking if we win this game, we go into the playoffs as Cleveland's flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to run with it, and he's going to get about a gain of 2 yards in the play. So a 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Crusaders. But yes, Jesuit looking to pick up one final win to round out the season, bring their record up to a 7-2, hopefully go into the playoffs. They lost that key Metro League matchup 2 weeks ago to Mountainside, and they lost an early season game to Tualatin. But other than that, perfect on the season. And we're going to see 3 receivers on that left-hand side, as it's going to be a handoff to number 1, Roman Mallard, and he's going to be quickly swallowed up by that defense for a gain of about 3 on the play. So that will bring up, I believe, about a 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5 here from the Sunset 42. And Jesuit will think it over. They already picked up one crucial 3rd and 8 earlier in this game. They'll look to do it again here. And I think this is going to be a running play. You can see Sunset readying to blitz. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle to Roman Mallard. And he's going to get some great blocking from his offensive lineman there, as he's going to go all the way up to the 35-yard line of the Apollos. And Jesuit now really threatening. They picked up 2 big 3rd downs so far in this drive, and they're really getting the momentum going, swinging in their favor.
I wonder what it's like for these players to play against some people they've known for a long time, since the Sunset Youth Football League. They probably played together.
Yeah, a lot of the players on this Jesuit team went through the Sunset Youth Football system. And now, Roman Mallard on the carry, and he's going to get swallowed up for a gain of about 5 yards. So good carry. Yeah, Roman Mallard Jr., and we saw him earlier on kickoff. We might see him play a little bit of defense here. But so far, he's taking this this main role as a running back with the injury of Luke Ortner. So we will not be seeing him in this game.
Yeah, Luke Ortner's, he's only a sophomore as well.
So Jesuit sets up on 2nd and 7. And a high snap and a pitch. That's going to go out to number 2. And I believe that is Joe Stimson, who's going to take this all the way in for a Jesuit touchdown. And
First
that
touchdown of the game.
that was beautifully designed. Pitched it up the sideline. And his receivers really did him a huge favor there, blocking for him and allowing him to get a clean look up that sideline and just use his speed to round the corner and get up past the pylon and into the end zone.
That was
So
a
Jesuit is going to convert here on their first drive of the game. And we'll see how this extra point goes, but Jesuit looking to make it 7-0 here and really establish themselves as a contender within this game.
That was a well-executed play. Hopefully we could keep playing like that the rest of the night.
Well, I think we'll be seeing a lot of this shorter work, keeping the ball controlled, because you really can't attempt any of this air raid style offense. You can't really throw any deep balls. You can't throw anything further than about 10 yards with this rain. I mean, the ball's slippery. It's hard to catch. I mean, honestly, I was impressed that he caught that pitch. Little end around on the left-hand side, and that just worked beautifully. We'll see how Sunset responds to this, though.
Yeah, some stuff happening at Jesuit. This past week was Rice Off. Did you go to that?
No, I didn't. Did you?
I actually was the one who planned that with ASU.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you like to describe what Rice Off is?
So during Flex, we had our first annual Rice Off.
What's
where
Flex?
Flex is like a free period on Tuesdays and Thursdays that students can meet with clubs or get some homework done, meet with teachers. And we had our Rice Off, which was students were allowed to bring rice dishes from their culture to Jesuit, and all the students were invited to try and vote which one was their favorite. There were so many people there. I think upwards of 500.
Was that a club activity? Was that planned by clubs?
It was put on by ASU, yes.
Asian Student Union?
Asian Student Union. But all of...
Hold on. I'm going to interrupt you here for the kickoff, and that's going to be a short kick, and that's going to be out of bounds, which will result in a flag here. So this ball will come up. Penalty there was for you can't kick the ball out of bounds on the kickoff. So that is probably just a result of the ball being so slippery. Maybe it was an attempted squib kick. I'm not really sure, but not necessarily what the Crusaders wanted. But I think they're feeling pretty happy after that first touchdown, and they got a stop on that first Sunset drive. But now Sunset's going to try to find a way to respond. Anyway, back to the Rice Off.
Yeah, so it was an Asian Student Union event that was put on, but all the students were invited to bring dishes. We had about 15, and yeah, there was a pretty good audience to try all the foods, and I believe the Korean dish won. It was spicy pork bulgogi.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're hoping to make this an annual thing. So hopefully he could be there next year.
Mm-hmm. So penalty on the play was on, I believe that was a defensive lineman for Jesuit, but he jumped the snap and got a false start, which brought up 1st and 5, and we just pretty violent tackle there by the Crusaders for a loss, and that'll bring up 2nd down. I think that'll bring up 2nd and 6. So a loss of 1 on the play for the Apollos, as they're going to look to respond to this Jesuit touchdown and really this big swing of momentum. Jesuit threatening to blitz, and it looks like the Apollos players wanted an offsides call there. Not going to get it, and they're going to set up, and a flag on the play now will be called, and this could be another false start. Yep, false start, but this time on the Apollos. So that'll move them back another 5 yards, which will bring up a 2nd and 11. So just a mental error there from Sunset.
Yeah, they need to be careful with the false starts.
I feel like we've seen a lot of penalties here in these first 3 drives.
Yeah, we have. Only about halfway through the first quarter so far.
Jesuit threatening to blitz, and Sunset's going to try a shovel play, and that's going to go for a good amount of yardage. Tried to find the corner there, but he was met by number 2, Joe Stimson, the safety for that Jesuit defense. And so tackled for not too much gain. I think that was a gain of about 3 on the play, which will bring up 3rd and 3.
Speaking of number 2, that's their the number of the Apollo's QB, Marcus Hammond.
Marcus Ham, yep.
Marcus Ham.
He's a junior. And looks like they're going to talk it over here.
Yeah, it's been a pretty big week for sports overall at Jesuit. States and districts are coming up. Sam, could you talk a little bit about cross country?
Well, I think just in general, this has been a big week for sports as we head into playoffs. You know, November's playoff season. As obviously this Jesuit football team is going to be looking for a playoff berth here. Pretty solid record on the year. Oh, looks like they're going to, Sunset's thinking it over. Really interesting. They have 3 receivers on the field, so I think this is going to be a passing down, or 4 on the field. 3 on that left-hand side, so I think it's going to be a passing down. And quarterback, really, he rolls out to the right, but there's really nowhere to go, and he's going to be stopped. But, yeah, definitely, for this Jesuit football team, heading into the playoffs, seeking a playoff berth with a win tonight. And then the Jesuit cross-country team, men's and women's, they had districts on Wednesday night, and they both won the Metro League, so they're both headed off to the state championship. That'll be at Lane Community College on November the 9th. As the Sunset punter, he drops the snap. Fumble on the play. That ball really slippery with the rain coming down, and Jesuit's going to come up with that ball. So Jesuit was already getting that ball back, but they've saved themselves a lot of yardage with that punt, and now they'll get the ball on Sunset's half of the field in a really good position to score here. They'll get that ball on the 34. So, yeah. Anyway, definitely big for the cross-country team there. Women's team is the defending state champions, and they beat the Sunset team, which is also going to go to state, the Sunset cross-country team. And then similar thing happened on the men's side with that Jesuit men's team winning. But they were second at state last year to Franklin. So I think they're looking for a bit of vengeance there. As a carry on first down will yield a gain of a couple, and Jesuit will be faced with a second down still in the Sunset territory. Second and 9. And then soccer playoffs starts this weekend. Playoffs for men's and women's soccer start this weekend.
And I believe women's volleyball just started their playoffs with their win against Gresham.
Yep. Women's volleyball won tonight against Gresham in 3 sets. So they'll move on to the next round. Ranked number 1 in the state, as trainer Cleland will, lower his shoulder into a defender and go down at about the 25 for a gain of about 6 on the play, which should bring up a 3rd and 3. Or 3rd and 2, maybe. 3rd and 2 now for the Crusaders after a big run by Cleland. And you got to imagine that's scary to see that round in the corner. I mean, this is not a small guy. As Jesuit's going to line up. Big 3rd down here. Definitely want to convert and extend this lead. And Stimson on the carry, and he's going to run up the sideline for what looks to be a first down. And yes, he's got it. So Stimson on the carry, and he will take that down to the Apollo 20-yard line, and he'll reset the chains for the Crusaders. So now the Crusaders just on the verge of the red zone here, and hoping to extend the score to 2 or extend their lead to 2 scores. And some motion here by the Crusaders. Definitely running this ball. And that's going to be a pitch to Roman Mallard on that right-hand side, and he's going to be met by the Sunset defense. So really, not much there for Mallard on the carry, and Jesuit will recoup.
That gained about 3 yards.
So 3 yards on the end around. So brings up 2nd and 7 for the Crusaders. Could see a passing down here. Not going to be a lot of passing tonight with this rain, but you never know. And handoff on the left-hand side. Once again to Roman Mallard. He's really being a workhorse for this Jesuit offense here in this rain.
He runs straight into the middle.
Yep. Just got really good blocks from his guards, and he's going to go all the way up and make this a 3rd and 1. Jesuit so far perfect on 3rd down conversions on the game. They're going to look to get another one here, as Cleland's going to keep that and QB sneak it forward for what is going to be another Jesuit 1st down.
So far in this game, it looks like we're just playing by inches.
As Jesuit's going to talk that over. So definitely an interesting game so far, as both teams really can't throw this ball with this rain. You can't get a good grip on it, and I don't even want to think about catching it. So we've seen a lot of screen plays, we've seen a lot of tosses, we've seen a lot of ground and pound football. As there's a toss on the right-hand side, and he is going to be brought up just short of the goal line. That was Roman Mallard on the carry, workhorse for this Jesuit offense so far in this game. But that's going to be all the way down to the 2 to bring up 2nd and goal. So Jesuit looking to extend this lead to 2 scores here and really firmly plant their foot on this game. And you have to think they're running it. And that's going to be another pitch. And he's going to be into the end zone, standing up. Roman Mallard with the touchdown. Great carry, just really well executed. Good pitch, and he powered through a couple of defenders into that end zone. As Jesuit takes a 13-0 lead, looking to extend it to 14-0 if they knock through this extra point, which is by no means a gimme with this rain.
I wonder how Sunset will adjust to the climate with the rain and how Jesuit has been playing so far.
Well, this really favors the Jesuit style of football, which is very much ground and pound, handing the ball off, just really trying to punch the teeth in of the opposing team by just running it over and over and over. And I think that these conditions, heavy rain like this, where you're really forced to run the ball, is really playing into Jesuit's favor here. As we're going to see Jesuit kickoff team for the 4th time tonight. So Sunset unsuccessful on their 3 drives so far this game. And Jesuit with a 14-0 lead now as we wind down on this first quarter. And if you're Jesuit here, you just may have to make sure you don't get complacent. I mean, you have a big 2-score lead, but you have to make sure you don't get complacent. You have to stay mentally active in this game. You have to stay engaged.
Yeah, by no means is this like a shoo-in game. There's so many factors that could play a part.
As we will see the Sunset offense take the field again after the kick. And deep kick, fielded at about the 8. And he's going to run that all the way up to about the 25. And we're going to see the Sunset offense come onto the field.
I believe believe that was number 6 on the Sunset team.
Yeah, number 6, Luke Bergman. That's a freshman.
Yeah, that is a freshman. Does Sunset have a freshman team?
I don't. I think they might, but I think
Yeah.
this kid's just so talented that they might have moved him up. He's the only freshman on varsity. As that Sunset Youth program definitely creates good players. I know a couple of them play for Jesuit. As that's going to be a handoff, and he's going to try to take that up that right-hand side, but nowhere for him to go. That Jesuit D-line really just penetrated through, and that he had nowhere to go there. So if you're Sunset, you've got to try something new here. You've got to figure this out, because clearly whatever game plan you had coming in is not working. I mean, you're down 14-0, and you started with the ball. Jesuit's getting this ball after half, so you've got to figure out.
They need to be able to adapt to the game that's being played.
They've got to adapt to the type of football they're being forced to play here, as they're gonna. This was an option play, so QB pitched it late there, and that was pretty effective. So, as he's going to take that all the way up to about I think that was number 8 on the carry, Max Waldrip. Or no, it was number 5 on the carry. It was Owen Scholes. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Apollos. And they're going to blow this play dead. And I think that might have been a timeout. I think the teams are going to talk it over.
Timeout from Jesuit or Sunset?
Not sure, but they are going. Oh no, it was the end of the quarter. They didn't snap it before the end of the quarter, so that is going to be the end of the first quarter here, as the home Crusaders lead 14-0. And welcome back to Cronin Field.
It is the start of the second quarter.
And looks as though Jesuit was unsuccessful on. Oh no, the Sunset offense was unsuccessful, and they will be forced to punt here on 4th and 6. And sheets of rain coming down as he's gonna sky high this punt, and that is going to go absolutely nowhere. That ball is going to go out at about the 36.
Yeah, it looked like it might have slipped a little bit from his foot.
Well, it's really hard to punt in this rain. It's hard to get a good grip on that ball. It's hard to put it exactly where you want it. It's really hard to get your foot on it the way you want it. And I think it just might have slipped. So the Jesuit offense will get yet another chance to try to really, really extend this lead and try to, even though we're still in this first half, really try to put the game away early see if we'll continue this trend of ground and pound from Jesuit, as that's going to be an end around to Joe Stimson. He's going to navigate through some traffic, and he's going to go down at about the 26-yard line. So great carry on first down by Stimson for a gain of about 10, or about 9 on the play, which will bring up 2nd and 1 for the Crusaders. And if you're Jesuit, you have to be so pleased with how that first quarter went. I mean, really dominated on both sides of the ball. Great defensive stops, forcing a lot of sunset punts. And then you were able to capitalize on that offensively, too. And whenever you can put points up on the board like that and be controlling the game from both sides, that's really how you're going to win this ball game. And that's going to be a direct snap to Stimson. And then he's going to hand the ball off to Jack Tungy.
Jack Tungy is one of our juniors.
Both juniors, yes.
Yeah.
And a little bit of trickery there from the Crusaders, but it's not really going to go anywhere. They're going to lose a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd and 2. As Stimson is going to give the play to this offense. And direct snap to Stimson again. He's going to run it and turn the corner.
Just before the 20.
Just before the 20. So a gain of about 6 on the play, but that will reset the chains. And Jesuit's going to keep this thing rolling. Trainer Cleland, as far as I can tell, he might have... Oh, he's back in the game. But for those 2 plays, they were running the Crusaders were running a wildcat formation, so they had a non-QB and a quarterback in the form of Joe Stimson. A little bit of trickery there. They're having a little bit of fun with it. But now Cleveland back under center, and that's going to be a pitch to the right-hand side to Roman Mallard. But the Apollos are catching on, and they're going to take him down. But there is a flag on the play. It came in during that tackle, and I wonder if we'll see some form of maybe horse collar or face mask on this play. Waiting for the call, though, from the ref. But we could see this ball come up a little bit further. That's going to be on the Crusaders. I think that was a holding on Jesuit. So that'll take them back to 1st and what I believe is
43?
20.
Oh, sorry. 20.
And if you're Jesuit, you can't be too happy. You can't make mental mistakes that'll allow Sunset to get back into this game.
Yeah, they gotta stay
You have to
focused.
keep playing consistent football. Really focus one play at a time. And they're actually going to pass it here, and he is wide open. I don't think Sunset expected that at all. First true pass we've seen in this game, as Trainer Cleveland is going to drop a beautiful pass straight into the hands of Joe Stimson. But unfortunately, this is also going to come back for what I believe is another holding penalty. So, incredible play by the Crusaders, but this is going to set up a 1st and 30. They're putting themselves in a hole. I mean, they're really beating themselves right now, but it's okay. They have 14 points to show for it, but they really need to find a way to focus on this game and make sure they put it away early and not give Sunset too many chances to come back.
Yeah, let's hope this isn't a trend that happens through the rest of the game.
And so the Crusaders are going to line up on 1st and 30. And I think we might see another. Oh, and we're going to have another pass towards the sideline. That ball is just going to go straight through Stimson's hands. I mean, sheets of rain coming down here. That is a hard to come down with ball right on the sideline. Stimson a little bit frustrated he couldn't come down with that, but nothing you can do. And another flag on the play, on the tail end of this play. 2, actually. 2 are on the ground, so we could see this come. I mean, surely it's not another. I think this ball is going to be coming up, but yeah, this ball is going to be coming up a long ways. I think this might have been a pass interference call, but we'll wait the official signal from the referee. But I think that could have been.
Flag on
Oh no! So a roughing the passer call from the Apollos. Actually, they hit Cleland after he had thrown that ball, and that's these mental errors that I keep on talking about. That really you'll see in these games. That I mean, Jesuit has a 2-touchdown lead, but both teams making. Wow,
Oh.
Stimson's going to navigate through traffic, and he's going to bring that all the way up to the 20. So a wild series of events. Back-to-back on first down, Jesuit had back-to-back holding calls that brought him back to a 1st and 30, but then the roughing the passer call brought them all the way back up, and now Stimson's carry right there, which really he turned nothing into something, will
Yeah.
bring up a 2nd and 4.
He really showed how quick he is on his feet.
And I think Stimson might be I think he's a product of that Sunset Youth football program, so definitely got to be surreal to be playing against some of these people that you've known for a very long time. As Stimson will carry the ball again. So Stimson and Mallard really being these two workhorses for this Jesuit offense as they try to grind down Sunset's defense.
Yeah, they truly have been the base of Jesuit football this season.
And we'll see what they cook up here as that carry was enough for a first down. And we'll see 1st and 10 for the Crusaders in the red zone on the 15.
Yeah, but the Apollo defense hasn't been making this easy for Jesuit.
And we'll see a pass here over the top and an easy touchdown in the back of the end zone by Grant Valley. As that is another one of our seniors. And, I mean, honestly, what a surreal experience getting a touchdown on senior night. Thrown by a senior, caught by a senior, 6 points on the board for Jesuit. Jesuit will prepare for the kickoff as they look to make this this is a 3-score game, but they're going to look to tack on one more point and make it 21-0 here in the second quarter. And honestly, I think this holder might be doing one of the most important jobs on the field right now, because catching that snap and getting it down is no easy feat, as he's going to knock that one through and make it 21-0. So a great touchdown by the Crusaders. Caught by Grant Valley. Really, we haven't really seen a ton of passing, but when it's been used, it has worked very well. I don't think they're expecting it because, this rain makes it really hard to pass, but also because of how much Jesuit generally runs the ball. And out comes the kickoff team.
Yeah, Jesuit keeping it interesting with the long passes really shows their unpredictableness.
Well, I think it really shows their versatility as an
That
offense.
too.
I think that if you can threaten them in multiple ways, you can threaten them on the ground, but then knowing that they can also, throw one deep on you and really threaten you through the air as well. I think that makes it really hard for defenses, especially with that twin rushing attack of juniors between Mallard and Stimson. I think that's just really going to be hard throughout the game. This is really going to provide some issues for Sunset throughout this game. Jesuit's going to boot this one, and and he fumbled it at the 10, and he's going to run
it
this
back
one up
up.
and get tripped up at about the 25. But great return after that fumble, and he's going to
It looks like he's injured.
go down here. And that is the freshman Luke Bergman, and you got to hope he's okay. And the trainer's going to come out.
Yeah, Sunset, it's just really hard to plan what your moves are going to be when Jesuit is keeping it interesting with all these different plays.
And he is up supported, but he is up, and we hope that young man is okay. But this Sunset offense is going to come back out here and try to find a way to respond to the 3 scores Jesuit has up on that board. And if you're Jesuit, you have to think that you want to get a stop here, because remember, they get the second half kickoff, and you got to think, I mean, get a little greedy here and think if they can get this ball back and try to score before halftime. Low snap, but fielded well, and that's going to be another run by Owen Scholes. He's a senior for Sunset, but that really isn't going to go anywhere for the Apollos as this clock is going to continue to tick down. We're coming up on about halfway through this second quarter, and so far it's been all Jesuit on both sides of the ball. They've dominated on the ground, they've dominated through the air, they've dominated offensively, they've dominated defensively, and Sunset is yet to find a way to respond. And that's going to be a jet sweep to number 10, Chris Richardson, but not really going to go anywhere either. Really good perimeter defending by the Crusaders, really forcing him towards that sideline and not really letting him go anywhere. And I think the perimeter of this field is really going to be key, because both teams have been utilizing it really well, with whether it's with that jet sweep or with screen passes out into the flat, out towards that sideline. As it looks like this looks like a passing down almost for Sunset. I mean, you're seeing 4 receiving personnel, 3 on that right-hand side, and I was correct in that, as he's going to slide down for about a gain of 9 yards on a neat little pass on that left-hand side of the field. So Sunset trying to respond, it appears, through the air here, as they look to really make a dent into this Jesuit lead that they've amassed as we now come up on halfway.
It might just be working, Sam. They might have found their groove and are going to be real contenders in this game again.
Well, we'll see. If you're Sunset, you have to get the ball in the end zone before the half. You have to get some momentum back. And they're going to run the ball up the middle. That's going to be good enough for an Apollo first down. Number 5, Owen Scholes on the carry. And that ball is going to come all the way up to the Apollo 39. So they are driving now. And one thing I've noticed about this Apollo's offense, as we got a little option play there, and they're going to pitch the ball out, but for a gain of about 3. But one thing I've really noticed about the Sunset offense is they're very efficient. They move very quickly. We haven't seen any delay of games. We haven't seen anything really close. They get their guys out onto the field, and they just run whatever play they're going to run. We haven't seen that much. As play clock ticks down to 30 seconds, 29, 28. They're snapping this ball with plenty of time left on that play clock. And he's going to drop back to throw this, and he is going to have to throw that straight into the sideline. I think that some people wanted maybe a intentional grounding there on that play. And there's the penalty. I think this is going to be for, nope. Yep, intentional grounding. So Jesuit got what it wanted, but you can't get rid of that ball unless there's an intended receiver nearby, and there was no receiver anywhere near that. He was just trying to get rid of that ball, but unfortunately, you can't do that. So this is going to back the Apollos up, and just when it seemed like they were getting some of that momentum back, this is going to bring them back, I think, 15 yards and make this 2nd and 22.
That has to be a little defeating for them.
2nd and 33. Oh my goodness. And that is going to prove difficult as quarterback looks to throw, and he's going to find a target.
That almost slipped out of his hands.
That was a great reception by number 21, Logan Firschweiler. Really hard to catch ball, but he came down with it, and he's going to give the Apollos a 3rd and 6, so they're going to get a chance to convert here after that 2nd and 33. So the Apollos finally going to the 4th and my apologies, 4th and 6. So they are going to punt and give the ball back to the Crusaders. So the Crusaders will get the ball with a chance to score. It's a fake punt, and they convert it. So a fake punt
That was caught
by the
number
punter
10.
Max Waldrip, and that ball went to Chris Richardson
That was a good
on the
play.
fake punt. Wow, pulling out some trickery here. Maybe this is the way Sunset finds a way to get back in this game. They're going to pick up this 1st down here. I don't think Jesuit expected that.
I think the real masterminds behind these football games are the coaches.
Well, I think they definitely have the most difficult job on the field because it's one thing to go out there. You have to go out there every day. You got to teach these kids and make sure you instill. And this is going to be an end around, and that's going to go nowhere. That was going to Max Waldrip, but it did not go anywhere else other than backwards. And number 13, Jacob Gorman on the stop. But so I think that with coaching, it's got to be one of the hardest things. And we're going to see a flag here. Not sure what this is for. It's going to be on the Crusaders, though. And this is going to move the ball up. So after the big... it's offsides. And this is going to bring the ball up and make it a more manageable, I think, 2nd and 15. But I think if you're a coach, I think that's got to be one of the hardest things because you have to go and teach these kids the proper, not just the proper rules of the game, but the proper rules as the QB's going to get flushed out to the left-hand side here, and he's going to run with it all the way up the sideline for a big gain. And that's going to bring them all the way up to, I think, about the 25. The 20. They're spotting the ball at the 29. So they're going to have the ball within the Jesuit 30. But I think as a coach, it's really hard because, at the end of the day, these are kids. And you have to make them ready, not just for football, but you have to make them ready. Wow. Another big run by Sunset. That was number 5, Owen Scholes, as he breaks a big one up the middle. And that's going to put him in the red zone. Jesuit scrambling to get some different personnel on the field. But I think you have to teach them and instill in them, I think, just proper morals, and Sunset's going to power forward, not quite getting the end zone. But I think you also just have to teach them how to be good young men of character and good people in general.
Yeah, the coaches are really formative to these young men, especially in their high school careers.
And you really think about that tonight, especially with it being senior night. I think you really think more about the 4-year journey these guys have been on, as Sunset's going to run that ball. He's going to do a little spin, and he's going to dump He's going to dump the ball off to number 8, Max Waldrip. And that, by the way, that's a senior. And he's going to dump that ball off for a touchdown. So he did a little spin, and then he saw his man wide open in that right-hand corner and just dropped it right in the bucket, right to him. An easy throw and catch. And Sunset finally gets some points on the board right here at the tail end of that second quarter. And this was definitely caused by that converted fake punt. Sunset's really picked up some momentum as that extra point is going to sail wide to the right. No good. I think that was also Max Waldrip kicking it. That's funny because we've seen him on the field multiple times as a receiver, but I think he's their kicker.
A real versatile player.
Yeah, really multi-tooled player. So Sunset responds they're going to put 6 on the board, not quite 7, but Any points on the board, I think, at this point in the game is really good. And now Jesuit, I think they really got to put their foot down here heading into the half. I think they've got to get some more points on the board. I think a field goal, something to extend this back to a 3-possession game.
Yeah, Sunset's touchdown hopefully made Jesuit a little nervous.
I think that might be a little bit of an awakening. Like I
Yeah.
said, you can't get complacent if you're Jesuit, and I feel like their defense might have gotten just a little bit complacent there. I mean, I don't blame them, 3-score lead, but now you've got to, I think you've really got to lock in. You've got to make sure that you secure the win before you let Sunset get back in this game. So, here we are on the kickoff. And he's going to kind of squib that. And that's going to be caught at about the 25 by number
Jack
7, Jack
Tungy.
Tungy, who's a junior. And he's going to bring that ball up a little ways. And, oh. And this Jesuit offense is going to come back out. And we're going to see what they can do.
Yeah, you really can't get too cocky in this game since anything can happen just within a few minutes.
And Jesuit's going to talk it over. As trainer Cleland's going to come in, give his team the game plan. And this Jesuit offense is going to try to put their 4th score of the game on the board. So this is definitely I think first down. This might be a passing down for the Crusaders, but we could see a little bit of trickery. And Cleland's going to drop back to pass, and he has nowhere to go with that ball. Ooh, might be an intentional grounding penalty.
They were really pressuring him.
Yes, he's going to throw that just out of bounds, but I think, nope, he's going to be safe from that intentional grounding. But nowhere to go with that football. Sunset brought a lot of pressure right in his face, and he was forced to get rid of it, which brings up a 2nd and 10. So this Sunset defense definitely toughening up, I think, and I think that's what you have to do if you're Sunset. I mean, because it's not just that Jesuit has shut you down on offense. I mean, they only put their first touchdown on the board just a little bit ago, but it's also that Jesuit has been able to dominantly put up points on the board on offense. And another passing down, and Cleland flushed out, and that ball just slipped right out of Stimson's hands. Cleland rolled to the right, but couldn't quite find Stimson. I mean, that ball is very wet, and just couldn't quite come down with it.
It looks like they just replaced it as well.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job of toweling off and replacing the balls every couple plays or so, making sure that these players aren't playing with an unusable ball. And the Crusaders are going to try to convert this 3rd and 10 as we start approaching halftime here at Cronin Field. And that snap's going to go over. Wow.
He caught it.
Amazing play by Cleland as he's going to catch that snap. It's going to go over his head, but he's going to find a way to come down with it, and he's just going to take the loss, run out of bounds, and that'll bring up a 4th and 20 as the Crusaders will punt for the first time in this game. So the Sunset defense finally finds an answer for the Crusaders, and we'll see the first out of Jesuit's punter as he's going to hope to pin Sunset back far enough that they can't get any more points. And pretty good punt, pretty solid. That ball's going to go up to about the Sunset 47-yard line, and they'll start there. They'll start on their own half of the field, but with a minute 25, I think it's definitely reasonable that they could get a touchdown here.
It looks like the rain has calmed down just a little bit.
I'll get a battery and I'll come bring it down to you.
Yes, looks like that rain has abated just a little bit. And I think I think that's why we saw Jesuit using passing to their advantage. I think that we'll see teams using that to their advantage. I think we might see the ball going through the air a little bit more.
What do you think Jesuits or Sunset's game plan for the second half would be?
Well, I think if you're Sunset, you have to find a way to get back in this game. I think you focus right now on just putting points on the board, even if it's just a field goal. I think you just got to cut down this Jesuit lead little by little. And I think you've got to just focus on the next play, the next play, the next play. And I think that's what they're doing here. Is we're going to see a shovel pass over to number 5, Owen Scholes. And that's going to be good for, I think, a Sunset first down. But I think that's what Sunset's doing a really good job of, is just focusing on the next play. And I think if you're Sunset, though, you can't look too far ahead. You can't think about
Just
that you're
step by
down
step.
multiple scores. I think you just have to focus on trying to get the ball in the end zone here, just trying to get the ball in the end zone at all. And I think if you're the Jesuit, I think if you're the Crusaders, I think you go into half. I mean, I think you're happy with the way this first half is going so far, but I also think that you'd be a little bit worried about the way Sunset, I mean, they found a way to shut down Jesuits' offense. They're driving on Jesuits' defense, and I think you definitely have to toughen up mentally. I think you just have to be more ready, I guess, coming out of the locker room for the second half, and I think you have to really capitalize on the opportunities you're given. I mean, because the defense has been pretty good about getting the offense the ball back, and I think if you're the offense, right there, not converting did not help. And I also think both teams, as we've seen this rain go away, I think both teams are going to definitely look to include the passing game more in their game plan. Try to get the ball through the air, especially if you're Sunset, because that's a pretty fast way to move the ball down the field. And only 59 seconds to go in this first half. As I mean, we're approaching the end of this second quarter, and as I say that, Sunset. Oh! Sunset looks to throw
That was
to number
blocked
10,
by-
Chris Richardson, and he was absolutely flattened by number 5, Grant Valley, while that ball was in the air. And obviously could not come down with it. Oh. So that sets up 2nd and 10, 53 seconds to go. And Sunset is on Jesuits half the field. Oh. And some motion. And they're going to look to go through the air again, but ball just slipped out of his hand. They're ruling that an incomplete pass, though, because his arm had forward motion, so that's an incomplete pass, not a fumble. Looked for second, though, since that ball had slipped, that had been a fumble. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10. Attempted screen pass there, but, I mean, just came out of his hand wrong and wasn't really catchable. And they're going to go to the air again on 3rd and 10. He's going to roll out. And he's going to try to find a receiver downfield, and that is going to be picked off
by number
by
5,
number 5, Grant Valley. Again, another one of these key seniors on this Jesuit team. But that'll bring the offense out. So the Crusaders now with 42 seconds. I think if you're the Crusaders, you might just go into damage control, but I also think we might see the Crusaders try out a couple of long throws here to end out the half. But I think we could see them test the throw, but I think they're just going to run out this clock. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run out this clock. And, really loading up that left side. Could be seeing a run to the left here. Yep, pitch to the left. Roman Mallard up the side. Wow!
Wiped out.
And he was flattened by number 24, Brian Cox. Great tackle, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. And a timeout used.
Jesuit, looks like we're regrouping here.
So Jesuit, So 5 yards gained on the play. So 2nd and 5, my apologies. Another pitch to the left-hand side. Again to Mallard. He's going to navigate his way up the sideline. And out of bounds. So picked up the first down, but as we see this first half come to a close, I think Jesuit's just going to, maybe we'll see him run the ball one more time to just end out this quarter. But I think a big theme of the first half has just been dominance by the Crusaders, but I think they have showed a couple of chinks in their armor here as Sunset was able to get that good touchdown on them, and they were able to stop them for the first time on defense. Oh, and a long throw here. Deep.
Oh,
Catchable ball.
just
but
through his hands.
Just right through his hand, right through the hands of Grant Valley. Great throw, but incomplete.
Grant Valley has been really important in this possession.
Well, I think he's definitely one of the key players on this
Yeah.
team on both sides of the ball. He's a track athlete. He's very fast, and I think that's probably what makes him such a key player.
Just a well-rounded athlete in
Jesuit
general.
is going to have some motion go over that right-hand side, and I think they're going to look to just run this ball one more time. Yep. And I think that should take us to the close of this first half. So, the score, and yes, that'll take us to the locker rooms. So, the score here at the end of one half of Metro League football is Jesuit 21, Sunset 6, and both teams will head to the locker rooms to regroup and try to find a way. I mean, if you're Sunset, you try to find a way to get yourself back in this game, try to win this game. And if you're Jesuit, you're going to try to find a way here to really fend off Sunset. And the rain's starting to come down again.
We'll be back just after halftime.
We will be back in about 10 minutes for some more Metro League football. Hang tight, and that's all from Cronin Field for now. So, welcome back, Crusader and Apollo fans, to the second half of your Metro League matchup between the Jesuit High Crusaders and the Sunset Apollos. First half, well, at least the first part of the first half, was all Jesuit as they put up 3 unanswered scores, putting the game at 21-0. However, Sunset answered with a score of their own, and despite missing the extra point, cut the lead to a 2-score game. So here, as we head into the second half, will the Crusaders be able to fend off a charging Sunset, or will Sunset fall short in tonight's Metro League matchup? Jesuit will be receiving the second half kickoff after deferring the coin toss, and they'll get the ball with a chance to do some serious damage and probably hoping to extend their lead to 3 scores again.
It'll be interesting to see how each team adjusted during halftime.
And here's the kick. Short kick. Gonna go out of bounds. And that'll be a flag. Can't kick it out. As we'll see this Jesuit offense come back onto the field.
Sunset kick goes out of bounds.
So, the Crusaders will start with good field positioning after that kick goes out. And they'll look to capitalize on that. So, we'll see what halftime adjustments they've made. The rain during halftime has now mostly gone away. It's still a little damp and wet here, and we could see that rain pick back up, but for the most part, it's a lot better than what we started this game with, which means we could see teams, the way we saw at the end of that first half, we could see teams throwing the ball a lot more than we saw at the start of this game, where it was mainly ground and pound. And it looks like Jesuit will open here with what looks to be a run. Oh, and it's become a pass, and that is going to be a deep pass. Would have been a great one, but Cleland slipped right after it snapped, and he recovered successfully, but unfortunately not quite in time to get the ball. Grant Valley with a great run down the field, and he was wide open. He torched 2 defenders, but Cleland put just a little too much under that ball, and it fell incomplete to the turf. So now 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders. Ball on their own 37. And definitely looking to put points on the board with a pitch here to the left-hand side. And Joe Stimson's going to cut it up, and he has running room.
Oh, it's going to be a
Wow,
touchdown.
he is quick. And he's going to sprint that ball all the way up that left-hand sideline and into the end zone for a Crusader touchdown.
If you need something to get done, Joe Simpson's your guy.
63-yard touchdown for Joe Stimson. And he really showed off those wheels all the way down the sideline. Very impressive run from Stimson. And now the Crusaders will look to knock through this extra point. So definitely what the Crusaders wanted coming out of that half. And Stimson really just showing off his athleticism right there. Just great. I mean, he really made that play what it was. The block set up in front of him, and he just managed to tiptoe his way as the snap is high, or that was intentional. It's a fake, and he's going to run it and throw the ball out of bounds. So Jesuit with some trickery here on that extra point, and no good on the 2-point. That was a pass attempt by Wyatt Williamson, another senior we'll talk about here on senior night, but unfortunately didn't quite work out. But it's okay. Sunset missed their first extra point, and so the Crusaders maintain a 3-touchdown lead, 21 points. And now we'll see them kick and give this Sunset offense something to work with, as they hope to capitalize on that momentum they were building late in that second quarter, and they're going to hope to transfer that into the start of this third quarter and into the overall second half. And they're going to tee it up. And oh, he knocked the ball over. Unfortunate. And we're back on track. So Parker Hated to kick it away for the Crusaders. And give the ball back to the Apollos. And we'll see what they have to work with here. And great boot, but oh, he's going to catch it at the 4 and run that up to about the 23.
I believe that was number 19, Griffin Ellingson.
So, new return man after the freshman, Luke Bergman, got injured on a return earlier in that first half. And the Apollos will have decent field position to start out. A lot of field to work with. And they're going to hope to put some points on the board to respond to that score that Jesuit just put up. And this Crusader defense so far, really effective at stopping Sunset, only allowing that one touchdown. And they're going to demonstrate that there as he teleports into the backfield. And that was number 58 for the Crusaders, which will be John Ching, as he came around that edge and disrupted that play and made it 2nd and 13 for a loss of 3. And that's going to be a run to the left-hand side, but it's not really going to go anywhere. Gain of maybe a yard on the play, as that ball went to number 5, Owen Scholes.
Jesuit just recently added another sports team to their roster, the Palms dance team. I don't believe they are here tonight. Oh, they are.
We saw the Palms dance team do a little thing at halftime. So you might have seen that if you've been watching the broadcast. Wow! As number 2, Marcus Ham, with nowhere to go. And Jesuit's going to wrap him up at about the 12-yard line. Forward progress will spot the ball at the 15, but still a big loss. And that will bring up 4th down, and it'll bring up a Sunset punt. So definitely not what Sunset wanted to do here. Give the Crusaders the ball back, and looks like they're giving the ball back right to the man who just scored for them, or for the Crusaders against them. Number 2, Joe Stimson. And he's going to kick it away. Stimson is going to choose not to field that kick as it takes a very Jesuit bounce. And that ball is going to go down at the Apollo 47. And if you're Sunset, that is not what you wanted to see. Jesuit completely disrupted Sunset, got in their backfield, multiple plays for loss, and that QB really just had nowhere to go with the ball on that crucial 3rd down. And this is not what you wanted to see. I mean, so far, Sunset really hasn't been able to find an answer. They seemed to find an answer there at the end of that first half to this potent Jesuit offense, but now they appear to be at a loss, as I think we might see some passing here on 1st down. Oh, nope. It's a run to the left-hand side, and Roman Mallard is going to get wrapped up, and a couple more guys are going to pile onto that, as that'll be a loss on the play. So, yeah, that Palms dance team, that's new this year to Jesuit. Jesuit hasn't really had anything like that in the past. We've had the cheer team, but that varies from the Palms dance team. So definitely an interesting addition here to these football games, to Friday Night Lights as a whole for the Crusaders. And we'll see a 2nd and 10 here. As a very clean pocket for Cleveland, and that pass was intended for number 9, Nelson Keljo on the play.
Grady Keljo.
Grady Keljo. Nelson's his older brother, who now plays baseball for Oregon State. But Grady Keljo just right off his fingertips, a little bit too high, but a good clean pocket for Traynor, so that's encouraging to see for the Crusaders. However, what's not encouraging to see is that they're now faced with a 3rd and 10. And I think a really key thing that I've noticed is that Jesuit's getting really good protection from their offensive line. Trainer's really had a lot of time to throw today. He's had a lot of time to think with that ball, as we just saw there, as the pass is going to go to Joe Stimson for about a 12-yard gain.
It took a second to get him down by the Apollos.
Fighting for extra yards there. But I think the big difference maker on offense has been the fact that Jesuit's offensive line has really found a way to create a protection for Cleveland and allow him to have a clean pocket to throw out of and make good throws out of. And I've noticed that Sunset's quarterback is often forced to roll out to the left or to the right and make some bad decisions because he doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball. And so I think that's because his protection, he's not getting the protection he needs out of that offensive line. As Cleveland's going to bounce this off to the right and show off his wheels as he's going to go out for about a 5-yard carry. And see where they spot that ball. Oh. That brings up 2nd and 5 for the Crusaders. But yeah, I think if you're Sunset, you really have to get in Trainer's head. You have to get some more pressure from those 3 down linemen they have. I think they need to maybe start bringing some blitzes, because so far Trainer's had nothing but time, and he's gonna run the ball on 2nd and 5 and pick up the first down. But I also think that that protection from the offensive line has also made a big difference in terms of blocking. And we haven't just seen that from the offensive line. We've also seen that from, additionally, from the wide receivers and from the tight ends. We've seen them all throw great blocks, and that's what's really allowed these screen plays and these end arounds to be so effective, is because they're getting great blocking to the sides, and that allows them to turn the corner, turn upfield, and the way we just saw Stimson do earlier last drive when he scored that massive 63-yard touchdown. And Cleveland, again, with plenty of time to throw. Flag is down. That may be holding. And he's going to try to find something. And dancing as he's going to go out for a gain of about a yard. But once again, flag in the play, so this may very well come back on a holding call.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. What were you saying before the flag?
And looks like illegal hands to the face. That's going to be on the defense, so that actually is going to move the Crusaders up on the play. I thought we might see a holding call because that play was extended for so long, but Jesuit stayed. Once again, they gave Trainer enough time. They stayed clean with their blocks, and that is going to be a Crusader first down because of the penalty. And so now Jesuit moves into that Apollo red zone again, and they look to make this a 4-score game, which I think really at that point would put this away. And Roman Mallard, wow, keeps the legs churning, and he's going to go all the way up right near that first down marker. And we'll see where they spot it. Could be a Jesuit first down here. But definitely he's been a huge factor for the Crusaders. Him and number 2, Joe Stimson, both been very key impact players, scoring a bulk of these Jesuit touchdowns. Grant Valley had a receiving touchdown earlier, but as the rain starts to fall again, I don't think that passing has definitely not been a big part of this game. It's mainly stayed on the ground. As Jesuit will line up here for 2nd and 1. So not quite a first down. They're going to throw a fade ball. And was he in? I think he was in. And wow, just like I was saying just a couple seconds ago, I was mentioning Grant Valley, and here he is as he's going to catch that ball on the right-hand side. It was a fade ball, and his quarterback, Trainer Cleveland, just really gave him a good shot to catch that. He trusted his receiver. He gave him a 50-50 ball. And I think, there's got to be something to be said for that senior connection. They've been playing together now for 4 years here, and just trust him that his receiver would come down with that ball, and it results in 6 points for Jesuit. So that puts it 33-6, And Jesuit will hope to extend that to 34-6 if they knock through this extra point, which
And they do.
they will. And now Jesuit leads by 4 scores. So a 28-point lead for Jesuit now. And they've come roaring out of the locker room at halftime. It was 21-6 at halftime. The Crusaders have now put up 13 unanswered points. And we'll see if Sunset can find an answer to this surge of Jesuit scoring as we line up for the kickoff. And if I were Jesuit, I'd be very happy, but I would not get complacent here because we saw what happened at the end of that first half. We saw Sunset shut down the Jesuit offense, and then we saw them capitalize on it. And I think if you're Jesuit, I think you have to know that this game is probably going your way if you keep on playing your A game. But I also think you have to factor in that you have to keep playing your A game. You have to stay mentally locked into this game, and I think that can be kind of hard when you're up by 4 scores like this. But I think you have to stay mentally locked in. I think you have to stay engaged in this game. I think that's going to be key as this kickoff. It's just going to get shanked.
Just
Ball
rolls
is
on the
wet,
ground.
but unfortunately, the flag on the play is due to the ball going out of bounds, and that'll bring that up and bring the Jesuit defense onto the field.
Yeah, both teams really, they need to stay locked into the game till the timer hits 0.
And so that ball will be spotted at the 35, and the Apollos will take over from there. And we'll see if they find a way to move this ball. As last time they went 3 and out. We'll see if they find a way to score here. And I think this is all about momentum. Jesuit has all the momentum. I think if you're Sunset,
That
wow.
was caught by Jesuit.
And that was picked off by number 7 on Jesuit. That's Jack Tungy playing both sides of the ball here. We saw him on offense as a receiver, and we just saw him with a great play on defense there. Almost looked like the ball was being thrown to him. Quarterback stepped up in the pocket, had nowhere to go with the ball, and
I think he
Tungy came
just
away with the
got-
play.
Yeah, he just got right in front of the player he was blocking.
And I think that's huge for Jesuit. I think that they're really in the process of just trying to put away this game and put this game to bed and really put it out of reach for the Apollos. And I think one more touchdown would really emphasize that point, I guess. As now they'll have the ball here on 1st and 10. Cleveland will drop back to pass, and he'll throw a nice little out route to Joe Stimson. He's going to get shifty.
Yeah, like I was saying, he's quick on his feet.
And we had a flag on the other side of that play. Not sure what's going to happen with that. I didn't see it. Great. As it stands right now, great little out route by Stimson. Good find by Cleveland. And Stimson really worked for those yards after catch. He got those yak yards, but unfortunately, penalty may dampen this for him. But we will see. Unsure what team this will be on.
Like Jack, I think a lot of the players on Jesuit play both sides of the field, which makes them really knowledgeable about the game and their versatility.
And it is not on Jesuit. This will actually move Jesuit up.
Call for the flag is unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. I think there was a little tussle we didn't see on that left-hand side. I did notice a player with his helmet off, and I think there might have been a little tussle between Sunset and Jesuit, and I don't think the refs liked that one bit, as Jesuit's going to get some serious penalty yardage out of that, and that'll give them a 1st down and 10. Or no, it'll be 1st and goal from the 6. So Jesuit now looking to put this one away, and they've got just 6 yards really to put this away. I mean, a 5-score lead here at the end of this third quarter. And he's going to run into a wall. That is number 24. I think is that Phineas Shealy?
I think it is.
Number 24, Phineas Shealy on the carry for Jesuit. And he took it. Oh. And he's going to take that up the left-hand side. But he really had nowhere to go with that ball. He did a good job of bouncing off tackles. And did a good job of keeping the legs churning to get the ball back up to the line of scrimmage. But that'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. And we have a Sunset player down. And this rain just continues to come down in sheets, as that appears to be number 44, Kincaid McCoy. And
he's being helped off the field right now, but it looks like he is walking.
hope he's okay. And Jesuit will set up for 2nd and goal from the 5, hoping to extend this lead. And that handoff to Phineas Shealy is going to go for about a yard to that right-hand side. Good stop by the Sunset defense to bring up 3rd and goal.
You can really see communication is a key factor on Jesuit's football team, as Trey Cleland keeps going over to the side and communicating with the coaches and telling the rest of the players on the team.
So Cleland with a pitch. Now they're going to try a pitch to that left-hand side. And that's no good. So I think Jesuit's going to have to attempt the field goal here.
It looks like they're getting a little frustrated.
Unless, it looks like they're going for it. So bold move by the Crusaders.
They had that room, though, with the
Well, 4th and goal from the 4. But I think they think that a touchdown will really seal up this game, and I don't think they see the point to going for just only 3 points when their lead is 28 points. So I think they want the touchdown, and this play's going to be whistle dead. Timeout on the play. And both teams, it looks like, are going to talk over this key 4th down. So I think Jesuit's logic here on going for it on 4th down is that they think that if they extend this lead to a full 5 scores, that they put this game away. And I think if you're up by this much, you can kind of afford to gamble a little bit more, because the worst thing that happens is they turn the ball over and then they pin Sunset really deep in their own territory, and in the best case scenario they get a touchdown out of it. And I think that in this game that's right now being decided by,
yeah, I think it's worth
20 points or more, that I don't think they see the point to only going for 3 when they could have 7.
Yeah, especially with this gap, they could try to be a little experimental.
And we'll see what they do here on 4th down. And looks like they're going to be running this ball. And this is going to come down to whether or not they can get a push from those offensive linemen. Oh, and a little trickery. Back corner to Nelson Grady Keljo. Back left corner of the end zone. And that is his touchdown on senior night. Oh. And He's going to celebrate with his teammates. That must feel good. He gets his senior night touchdown. A little bit of trickery there. Thought for sure they were going to run that ball, and Cleveland rolled out to the right. And I don't think the Sunset defense was expecting it either because Grady was wide open. And Jesuits going to try to knock this through for a 35.5 touchdown lead as we enter the second half here of this third quarter. And perfect so far this game on extra points. Parker Haydet's going to knock that one through.
Making the score 41-6.
And this has really been dominance coming out of that that first half for the Crusaders. I mean, coming out of the locker room, coming into the second half, they've now scored 20 unanswered points, and I don't think Sunset knows what to do. And I think that with that touchdown, I think that might put this game away for good. And now, I mean, it's senior night, and I think this is where you kind of start to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, let the seniors show off a little.
I mean, you think about all the hard work they put in, practice after practice,
They
day
deserve
after
it.
day, in season, and then in the off season, I mean, 5 a.m. weight room. I think that they deserve to have a little bit of fun here in this final regular season game that they'll play for in a Jesuit uniform. And for some of these guys, the last regular season football game they'll ever play.
I can't imagine how surreal it must be for them.
As Parker Haydet will kick this back over to Sunset. Good kick. Going to land at about the 10. And good return. Still on his feet, fighting for extra yards. Almost going to get to the 35, but it looks as though he is going to be brought down at the 34.
Number 19, Griffin Ellenson, with a 33-yard return.
So Griffin Ellenson on the return.
34-yard line.
And the Apollos now will probably, I think you have no choice but to throw this ball. Oh, play is whistled dead before it starts. And we'll see what the confusion was about. As good snap and a short pass. Ball slipped out of his hand though. And that'll skitter incomplete on that left-hand side of the field. And that'll bring up second down. And I think as we start coming close to this fourth quarter and really the end of this game, I think if you're Jesuit, you have to be really, really happy with this senior night. I mean, they've really just showed off both offensively and defensively. I mean, only allowing 6 points so far. And, I mean, putting up 41, both of those is no easy feat. As
Yeah, I
that
guess.
ball will go. Oh, and a flag on the play. Oh.
All Sunset could do right now is give Jesuit a hard time the rest of the game, really.
And this ball will be coming up. And that'll reset the chains. And I think that was an offside call on Jesuit. So, 1st and 10 now. And they're going to run this ball. Wow! And a great run. But Joe Stimson's going to make that stop. Playing both sides of the ball. And he's going to make the stop at safety there. As number 5, Owen Scholes, brought that ball all the way up. Great carry. And Sunset now drives into Jesuit territory. That's an option play. Again to Scholes. And he's running really hard in between the tackles. I mean, he's making great cuts. on these runs, and that's really how he's finding his space. And he's letting his blocks set up really well. And I think that maybe they're figuring something out here. So now that'll bring up 2nd and 2 for Sunset after an 8-yard run on the option play. And that's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to throw it low and short. And
That was caught by number 10, Chris
I think
Richardson.
they're going to give him the catch there. So that'll bring up 1st and 10 as we enter the last minute of this third quarter.
I wonder if Sunset has something up their sleeve here. Oh.
And a good read as he found the hole there. Scholes found the hole in the defense and was able, I thought with Jesuits pushing to that backfield that he might be tackled for negative yards, but he found a little gap and wiggled through it, and that'll bring up 2nd and 6 as they looked to be trying to throw it, and just slightly out of reach of number 21, Logan Firstweiler, and that ball is going to be incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 6. Good attempt. Quarterback rolled out and searched for something, and he was open. Firstweiler was open, but unfortunately, ball just a little bit out of his reach. And so now on 3rd and 6, they're going to give the ball to Owen Scholes again, and that's going to be Joe Stimson again on that tackle.
He was able to maneuver through a lot of our defense, though.
And Scholes really breaking off big runs here as we're going to come to the end of this third quarter here with the score Jesuit 41 and Sunset 6. And we are live here in this fourth quarter. So final quarter of this Metro matchup, and Sunset is driving, and they're going to give the ball to Scholes, and he's not going to have a lot of running room, and he's going to be brought down for a very small gain. Or actually a loss of 2 on the play. Uncharacteristic for Scholes. He's normally pretty good at breaking those tackles, but... So we are entering the final quarter of this last regular season game as, wow, an absolutely dominant sack by number 9, Grady Keljo. Came off the edge, and that is a huge loss of, I think, about 15 yards on the play, which will bring up probably about a 3rd and 25-ish. 3rd and 20, yeah, 3rd and 26. And a screen pass, and he is met by number 10, Jaden Hedges, who absolutely jumped him, and Hedges, the junior, just absolutely met him. Hedges actually is the backup quarterback as well, but I think he's a talented player, so they're plugging him in here on defense. Definitely got a good mind for the game. And he absolutely met the Apollos, and that went nowhere. And there's going to be a flag on this play. So now that's a 5-yard penalty, and that'll bring up 4th and 22. So after massive tackle on 3rd down by Hedges, this 4th down's going to be interesting, as Sunset's got to go a very long way. And he has nowhere to go with that football. Searching, and he finds something on the sideline, but that ball's going to fall incomplete. So Jesuit will take over,
And it's,
and
it's
that
really,
will truly spell the end of the game, although not the end of the rain.
It's really coming down now. I don't know if you could see, Sam, but all the umbrellas are up.
Yeah, we see all the umbrellas out in what is left of both sides cheering sections. And now we're seeing Harper Sage, number 14, come in for the Crusaders. So I don't think we'll be seeing any more of Trainer Cleland tonight. So Sage actually, and we're seeing number 8 for the Crusaders. Got on the field a little bit late.
Wyatt
That's Wyatt
Williamson.
Williamson. But Harper Sage actually, so after an injury to Trainer earlier in the season, Sage was forced to take over for a couple of games, and he performed beautifully. He handily defeated Oregon City, and that was Coach Ken Potter's 353rd win, which is, of course, the state record. And then he came in and he orchestrated a decimation of Grant as well. So he's definitely performed very well in this role, but obviously overshadowed by the senior.
Yeah, Harper really had to carry this team on his back while Trey and Jaden were injured earlier in the season.
Jaden Hedges, who made that big tackle last drive, he had appendicitis, so he was also not available to play quarterback. But Sage definitely proved himself to be capable. As the run there, and Jesuit's going to start sending in a variety of players, making sure everyone gets some playing time. That'll bring up 3rd and 3, though. And Sage will come back in and hopefully pick up this 1st down as the clock winds down on this last quarter. And this is where, if you're Jesuit, I think you just start putting in people, start having a little bit of fun, start making sure that everyone has a good time here in this last regular season game. And then I think you start turning your eyes ahead. I think you start turning your eyes towards the playoffs and the competition they'll face there. I think you start thinking about what went well tonight, which I think a lot of things went really well tonight. And I think you also start thinking about, what can we work on? What can we do better? Because obviously the Crusaders with 2 losses, and I think that even when you win a game like this, you think about those losses, and you think about ways you could have won that game. That's going to be a QB sneak for Sage, and he's going to take that one all the way up to the 40. So they're going to pick up here on 3rd down. That clock is going to keep on running as we tick down to about 6.5 minutes left in this regular season here on senior night. And the Crusaders are going to continue to drive here. So I think if you're Jesuit, I think some things that really went well tonight, I think they definitely they used the rain to their advantage, and they really established their ground game super well. Roman Mallard and Joe Stimson were both really punishing on the ground. I think they were both really, really hard to bring down. I think they were really shifty, and they really found ways to create plays. And I think you also have to be very proud with how the entire rest of the team has helped facilitate that. Really good blocking, really making sure they can do what they do best, which is run in open space and show off their wheels. And then I also think you have to be very happy with how this defense is played. Only allowing 6 points. The offense could have only scored 1 touchdown, and the Jesuits still would have found a way to win this game. But I think you have to be happy on both sides of the ball. But another handoff. Clock's going to continue to run, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. So that'll bring up a third down at about 4 or 5 for the Crusaders.
I can imagine the seniors being very happy at the end of the game.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some celebrating tonight. I think anytime you get through a tough season like this, and I mean even with playoffs still to go, I think that definitely getting through this whole season, and I think especially with it being your senior year, I think that it's probably just a magical end to 4 years of Jesuit football, even with the playoffs still to go. And this clock is continuing to run down on this game. So now the Crusaders are going to go for it on this 4th and 5. See if they can find a way to pick this up.
Do you think Coach Potter is reflecting on the regular season we had so far or preparing for the playoffs?
I think both. I think that one thing that really probably stings for the Crusaders is that loss they took 2 weeks ago to Mountainside. Because, I mean, they had that one tough out-of-league loss to Tualatin, but Tualatin's a very talented team, ranked very high in the state. And I think that Jesuit was expecting to really compete with that Mountainside team, and they let themselves get in a hole early, and then they just never really found a way to recover from that. And I think that if you're Jesuit, that's probably still what you're reflecting on in terms of that. But I do think you have to be happy with what happened tonight, and I think you have to try to use that momentum to carry you into the playoffs. And I think you have to not think too much about past defeats and focus on future successes.
That's very true.
And wow,
Oh.
what a run by Owen Scholes. He is bulldozing through people, and a flag on the tail end of that play, unfortunately.
I think that was blocked
that's
by
on-
number 7.
That's going to be on Jesuit. Oh, wait. No.
Oh, the flag was on Sunset. I'm not too sure why, though.
I think it may have been something to do with the blocking at the tail end of that play. It was behind the play for sure, but I think it might have had something to do with a bit of a blocking battle. But, oh, I think that's unsportsmanlike conduct. It's that or unnecessary roughness. Because that is a big penalty. That is going to pull Sunset back to first and a long ways. And they're going to run the ball over to this right-hand side and run a bit of an option play. That's not really going to go anywhere. Number 4 on the stop for Jesuit.
That would be Quentin Migrossi,
Mia Grassi, yeah.
a senior that we mentioned earlier.
And I think now they're going to put a lot of seniors on the field. I think that's got to be a great way to close out your high school football career. And there's going to be a flag on this play. They're going to let it run, though. Short reception to number 11. And that is Felipe Ponciernas Zakari for Sunset. But obviously flag before that completed pass. And we wonder if this will come back. And it looks like, yes, it will be coming back. So there was a false start on the play, but it ran anyway, and Sunset's going to be stuck with a second and a long ways, or I'm actually not sure if that makes them replay it or not. And they're going to drop back to pass. A lot of time here, but pocket's going to collapse, and he's going to try to make something out of it. And
I don't think
the flag's going to come in at the tail end of that play. I think that's going to be pass interference on the Jesuit secondary there. He was kind of draped all over him, and I think that's going to result in a penalty. And that's going to be a lot of penalty yardage. Yeah, and that's going to be on Jesuit. So we now enter we're within the final minute of this game. And we've witnessed a bit of a dismantling of the Sunset Apollos with strong performances on both sides of the ball by Jesuit. And now Jesuit, with this win, will go to 7-2, and they'll only have that one Metro loss to Mountainside. And I think
it'll put them in a good position for playoffs.
And for obviously, I mean, what's on everyone's mind, which is trying to make that state championship game. But they'll have to go through some tough competition to get there. And it's going to drop back to pass and scramble up the sideline for a gain of about 7 on the play. And this clock is going to continue to run. No.
Both teams are probably pretty tired from like the beginning of the game, and also Halloween was yesterday. Did you do anything, Sam?
I just hung out with some of my friends yesterday. It was a good night, but I'd imagine these players were getting a good night's sleep in preparation for this game. And I think if in Jesuit's case, it definitely paid off here. And now I'd imagine the Halloween festivities
Kept to a minimum.
Well, they'll probably begin tonight
That's true.
as this game's going to wind down. So Jesuit really, I think they dominated from the get-go. They had those 3 touchdowns initially. They took a 21-0 lead. And then I think they just never really took their foot off the gas. I mean, Sunset got that 1 touchdown right at the end of that first half. But other than that, this game was all Jesuit, as we're going to see a complete pass to number 8, Max Waldrop. That'll be a first down, but
Straight into his hands.
so I think that this definitely got to be a very emotional moment for the seniors, though, as now I think it sinks in that they're going to go to the playoffs. I think that it sinks in also, though, that 4 years of their lives that were devoted to one thing, the pursuit of these Friday night lights, are now coming to a sort of a close. Only a couple games left to play, and each game could now be your last. There's no guarantee of the next one. And that play will be whistled dead. As looks like they'll recuperate. So now we'll see final couple plays of this game.
I think both teams switched it up a little the second half.
And almost picked
By number 17,
Sam Rutledge, who's a senior. And that will be it, though. So the clock will run out, and the final score will sit at the hometown Jesuit Crusaders 41 and the Sunset Apollos 6.
Thank you for tuning in to this game, Jesuit versus Sunset at JCTV.
Here at Cronin Field, and this is Sam Kempf and
Milani Tran.
signing out from Cronin Field, where the Jesuit wins the final regular season game of the season in a Metro League matchup against Sunset 41-6. Have a good night, people.